Yes. How are we? Are we well? Are we good? That's so wonderful. You're very quiet tonight. It's okay. You'll get louder.
It's January. Well,
or else.
This is the first process of 2024. Make some noise for that. As always will bewilder me. In a first, the good version of this. Make some noise if you've been to process before. Perfect.
Welcome back, family.
And then
good to have you.
The truly bewildering one. Make some noise if this is your first time to process. How is that a thing? How are we attracting? I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just confused.
It's a cult.
In the best
That's
way.
how.
I'm glad word of mouth has been good. I'm glad we seem professional. We're not. But
I am extremely professional. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're the professional one. The camera gear may scream professional, but this is chaos and nothing's going on properly here.
We don't claim to be anything other than chaos, but I think chaos... True. Look, if chaos was a profession, we're professionals. Yeah? You can cheer louder for that. Thank you. That is why you come every month. Are these on? I can't tell.
These are on, and yes, this is. So yeah, for what it's worth, and just to make sure we're all on the same know-how here, you all here for poetry, right?
If you're here for D&D, that's upstairs.
I mean, don't get me started, because I will start playing D&D on stage.
That's happened before, by the way. Remember that?
Distractions.
Yes, professional.
Yes,
rules.
Rules, poetry, organising. We're good at this. Can you tell it's been 2 months since we've done this?
It's been 2 months since we've done this. But, yeah. Welcome back to 2024. Happy New Year. Happy January. Look, I woke up in Manchester, okay? It's a miracle I'm awake. We're Process, we're a poetry night. I'm Kayla, this is Tyrone. We're Process, this is Process. That's what you're here for, poetry. Before we start, we have some houseman ad-keeping rules.
Yes.
What are our rules, Tyrone?
So the night will run as follows. We'll have some open micers. We'll also have a feature or two. For our open micers, you will have a total of 5 minutes on the mic. How many minutes will you have? 5. Always one. There's always one who will say the wrong number, but no, you will have 5 minutes on this mic. That's so we can get a lot of people on. There is a hat full of names there that's got a fair few people in it as well. And it's like, we want to get as many of you on as we possibly can. So 5 minutes. All is like, if you want to do shorter, that's good too.
We love a short poem.
Yeah, just don't do longer though. We're not doing longer than 5 minutes.
Connected to that.
Yes.
Connected to that is our chief rule is don't be a dick. I don't blame you for not knowing how long you talk for. I don't know how long I talk for. No one, people think that 15 minutes is half an hour, I swear to God. But to help you with that, at 4 minutes and 45 seconds, I will ring this little Liberty Bell. This Liberty Bell was my mum's. Is she still alive? Sorry, the way I said that was unclear.
I mean, I can play some look!
Do
you want me to?
Let's not do dark humour. Liberty Bell. About half of you know what's happening right now.
Chaos.
I think you're the chaos gremlin tonight. Normally it's me, but thanks. Anyway, this Liberty Bell was my mum's, and she moved away, and she said, "Is there anything you want?" And I said, "Yes, I want the Liberty Bell." And 6 years later, I use it at Poetry Night to tell you how long you have left. When I ring this, it means we have 15 seconds left. Please wrap it up so that we can get more people on stage. We won't get everyone on tonight, but we like to get on as many people as we can. If you go on for 6.5 minutes, you take that time away from somebody else. Like a dick. So don't be a dick. What else is connected to don't be a dick while I die quietly?
What's connected to don't be a dick, which is a rule we have modified since starting, and I think we've got to a happy medium for it, is no exposed genitals on this stage, please.
Or buttholes. Look. See, it's implied with genitals, or it should be.
I mean, there were things implied other way. Point is, we are, for as much as it's an open space and we want people to express themselves the best they can do, genitals is the step too far we are putting in here. Let's not do that.
I do not consent to seeing anyone's swimsuit area this evening, so don't make me look at it.
I mean...
Anyway, what's next? Don't be a dick. No kicking down as a general rule. Yeah. No transphobia, racism, ableism, anti-Semitism, none of the isms. No fascism, etc. Socialism's all right. As long as it's responsible.
Yeah. Communism's fine. Optimism, debatable. You're poets when you write about optimism. Exactly.
What else? Filming.
Yes, filming. So, because Tyrone spends all of his money on camera gears and whatnot, and also is trying to be vaguely differently accessible, I am filming all of this night. I've also got an external recorder to record this night as well. So hopefully I'll be able to start putting these nights out onto YouTube and potentially Spotify as well. Though... obviously, if there are any poets that don't want to be included in that, do make themselves known to me. Also, with that, I'll be taking pictures throughout the night. What I've changed is that I'm no longer bringing my flashes. We had a couple of people that were not fans of the flash. You know what? Again, we tried to roll with it and keep going and adjusting, etc. So no flash today. Also, on the accessibility front, Kayla obviously has brought their fidget toys and other things as well.
And earplugs if you need them. You don't have to give back the earplugs. Please don't give them back if you need them. But please give the fidget toys back. If you break one by accident, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just let me know. But if you can remember to give them back at the end of the night, that'd be great.
Cool. Other than that, now I guess we should actually probably big up the night and what's happening. So obviously we've got all of our open micers tonight. Yes. We've also got some features. Kayla, do you want to tell us one of the features, please?
Yeah, our features are just two incredible poets. I met them both because the three of us were in the final round of the September, thank you, September Genesis Slam. Laurie's here, so you can correct me when I get things wrong. Everyone's here to just embarrass me tonight, it's fine. The September Genesis Slam. And they both beat me. And that was correct, because they're amazing. And I immediately messaged her and I was like, we have to book these poets immediately. And we have them together. So we have Emy P and Takunda. Just fucking incredible poets. If you've never seen them perform before, you are in for a treat. What else? What other chaos do we have?
I mean, that covers all the chaos.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, I need to walk off this for a bit.
Bye-bye. Go on, other way. Let me do my panto. Okay. So, nobody likes to go first at a poetry event. So we do that for you because the poetry gods demand a sacrifice. They're very demanding. So you'll each, they demand two sacrifices a night, one in each half. So to sacrifice the first poem for you is a man who is so wonderful. I love running this night with him. I know it looks like chaos. We haven't been here for 2 months. We had a little break, and now we're back. And I get chaos enough on a 5 Tuesday month, so it's been 9 of them. Anyway, Tyrone Lewis is one of my favourite people on the planet. So often when I see people, they say, "How are you? How's Tyrone?" And I love that. He's fucking great. And that's all. I do every month I say nice things about you, and I am running out of them. Look, he's so wonderful. His poems are even better. No, I think it's important that I say that because he acts like a bitch so much of the time that I have to promise people that he's actually a nice person. Anyway, please welcome to the stage my friend Tyrone Lewis.
Cool. I have to do this. I think most people kind of expected I was going to do this to start off the night, especially this poem. I know I did a goddamn poetry jam as well, so this is how we're going to start the tone here. A level of, in the best, phrasing this as best as I can do, whilst this sounds a bit of a throwaway thing, I need to get this out of the way, and then I can go on with all the other shit. So, as many of you know, wonderfully alluded to in our wonderful dark humour segment to start this. My mum passed away at the start of this month, and with that, I feel that, especially because she was such an integral part of, obviously, this poetry night and a lot of my poetry kind of things, we're starting off with this one. I will try and figure out my tenses as I go along, because I really need to update this poem now, because it's no longer 100% accurate, and I realise the tenses are weird, I don't know what I want to do, but nevertheless, this one's about me and my mum. She taught me sarcasm before she taught me how to walk. Made sure I knew I was a Tottenham fan before I knew my times table. And she showed me Star Wars before she showed me how to dress. And my mother had a TARDIS heart. It may not look like much from the outside, but best believe it is big and on the inside. And I have been lost. Done all of its hallways for all of space and time, but still keep finding new doors to explore. And I'm sorry, Falcor, but her love is more never-ending than your story. It's more unbreakable than your movie, M. Night. And it's serving more realness than any look I have seen served on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race. And yes, that does include you, Simone and Bimini. I mean, you could be easy for them to thinking that her heart has never been broken. And yes, I know it skipped a couple of beats in high school, but I think all those crushes did was soften it. And it's got a lot of love for Idris, and Denzel, and a bit of Will and all of Adrian Lester, but I don't know if my father was the first one to let into it. Maybe he helped her fix it. Kept it together until the divorce, but after that, there must have been a couple of cracks, but no stray shards between across our living room floor. No stray splinters have fallen into our dinners. If there were any pieces missing, then my mother kept them well hidden. I mean, between all of us here, I kind of think my mum was a magician. She kept me believing she was 27 up until I was 11. She kept appearing and reappearing at all my football matches and all my poetry nights. No, scratch that. My mother was a superhero. She was carrying all of my fuck-ups on one hand and breaking every barrier in front of her with the other hand. She didn't need any spandex, but Kevin Feige was working on producing her own Marvel standalone film. No, scratch that. My mother was a wrestler, was one of the longest undefeated streak in WWE history, surpassing both Goldberg and Asuka, because I've seen her hurt, but I've never seen her beaten. No, scratch that. My mum would beat all your mums. No, scratch that. My mum would beat all your dads. No, scratch that. My mum said, no, scratch. My mum said, record scratch. My mother had a TARDIS heart. It may not look like much on the outside, but best believe it was big in the love that she received. And I'm trying to make up for it. But I'm too busy being shit. I kept spending my nights swimming in Stella instead of coming home to her. I kept trying to buy smiles, ignoring the ones that she gave me for free, and I kept fucking on my life knowing that I thought she'd always be there for me or afterwards. And now, in this moment, I have never found Blue or Elton John more relatable, because there's a worm trying to say to her they're proving so hard right now, so instead, here's this poem. This one's for me and my mum. Thank you. Now it is time for some panto. What's in my hand? Thank you. And what's in the hat? Cool. Newcomers, you'll get as we go along. See, it's a hard one to figure out, but you can kind of figure out just about as we go there. Can I get a drum roll, please? As our first open micer of the night is going to be, come on, keep it going. Keep it going. As we please welcome Jessie to the stage! Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jessie. Kind of amused by this because I just put my name in that hat at the very last minute, and it's just come out like after the sacrificial poem. I've got 3 poems here for you, and this is the first time that they've been performed out.
New shit!
New shit, yes, totally new shit, and I love that. I'm just going to dive into it. This one's called The Keeper. Hard to remember that all this eye contact is just you masking your difference to make us feel comfortable. You end up making me feel special when all you want is to navigate another difficult social setting, where I have become your lighthouse and you, my keeper. This one's called Parasitic Attraction. A break of continuity, an attractive force, magnetic, arrests the attention, bores in, parasitic, leaving a trail of necrotic thoughts, withering in pools of tears, dried out by reverse osmosis. Circling back, vultures picking the meat from the carrion until there is nothing left. And this one's called Thermonuclear. It's a bit of an odd one about the inspiration. I just saw something visual and this poem just rolled out of me. It's about rage, but you'll see that. A vortex of light, individual motes pulsing brightly, diving inwards, alighting in my heart for a moment to offload their burdens. A natural disaster of emotional proportions. I see in startling detail, rushing headlong, each new body blow about to topple me over the cliff, triggering me in my own thermonuclear event. I implode and explode in the next nanosecond, my hope dispersed, along with my anger, then rebuilding at myself. Where does this weakness come from? Neurons sparking a runaway cascade. The last gasp of air draining into a scream of desperation, clawing for the surface and the hope of calmer waters. Thank you.
Well, I, for one, am glad that we've pulled you out of the hat first. What a way to start off. I love the idea of hope being dispersed, because I was thinking of that not disappearing, but being like how you disperse seeds. Anyway, one more time for Jessie. So we often say that Process is a family, and the way that you become part of the very tight-knit, exclusive Process family is that you come to Process one time, and then you're part of the family. So welcome to the family, Jessie. What a trial by fire. That's the initiation. Up next is another Process family member, a regular who once played the greatest April Fool's joke on me, and it wasn't even fucking April. If you know, you know. I thought I was having a fever dream. They invented a character. Look, it was wild, and I want to get a tattoo of it. Anyway, please welcome to the stage, Avouleance.
Funny you should mention. So some of you may have heard a rumor that tonight a certain popular character is returning. And I can confirm, for the second time at Process, it's Eponine the Epistemology Elephant. I know you all know her. She was wonderful in Carry Ontology. We all know. But I wanted to celebrate her being here for the second time, and I thought the best way to do that was to read some of the fan mail. Now, I couldn't read all of the fan mail she gets. There's just so much. But I do have two emails that really touched her here. I've got one from a T. Lewis and one from a K. Feldman. T. Lewis writes, this better not count against my time. Let me tell you about this queen. Let me tell you about 4:30 on Thursdays between the Stinky Science Hour and the World Championship Moose Polo. How you'd rush home or miss her theme song. No, she had an anthem, heralding her arrival on CBBC, trumping in inquisitive. She's a sight to see, taking no shit, sniffing out the truth from up to 12 miles away. It's hard to say how much she means. Seeing someone so confident in her convictions, who knew who she was, never forgot her origins, however many questions she still had. As any elephant knows, even when you've battered down the doors to their rooms, they will do everything to avoid talking about you. So give them something to say. And she's in my top 10 hottest Loxodonta easy. Thank you. So, people seem to have strong feelings about her. I'm not going to criticize them. It's nice to see people getting enthusiastic. Second, we have one from a K. Feldman. For the desk of Miss E. Elephant. I don't usually do this. I mean, I wouldn't, but I saw an old episode of yours. Well, a clip. It's funny. I hadn't thought about you for so long. I used to be your biggest fan, had your VHS, sanded your anthem off the cassette tape. I'm sorry, it's silly I ever pretended to be too mature for you, like the pursuit of truth was a toy to be put away, as if anybody could grow out of needing to know things. Of course you're not offended, you're fictional, no offense. Some of my best friends are. I aspire to be fictional too sometimes, or maybe mythical is more what I mean. All this to say, thank you. P.S. You're in my top 5 hottest Loxodonta. So, as you can see, she's got quite the fandom, and assuming there's time, if anyone would like to say a few words, they're welcome. Any volunteers? Thank you. Before I go, I should confess, one of the letters I read was fake.
I will neither confirm nor deny if mine was the fake one. One more time for Avouleance, everyone! Thing we didn't mention at the top of the night is both me and Kayla put out books last year. So if you want to, so if you'd like to buy books, you can do that during the interval. And Tyrone's expert segue here is our next open mic is currently fundraising so they can get their book out later this year. So can we please welcome to the stage the one and only Ash!
Guys, I'm so sorry that took so long. I got confused. Hi, guys. Hello. It's like coming home. We were talking about being family earlier. This is my first ever poetry night was here. And it's my first time back since my first ever time here. Sad times. I've missed it. Yeah, the first time was the best time. And hey ho. It'll be better now. Right, okay, guys. I'm doing some new shit tonight. This one's called Interocepted. It's a working title. Basically, I struggle to feel when I'm hungry or thirsty because I forget till I'm really hungry or really thirsty, or suddenly I'm like, I'm going to wet myself if I do not go to the toilet now. So I wrote one about it. Interocepted. Without hunger, without thirst, without desire, without relief, the severed sense tries to thread a needle. The severed sense threads a needle without hands or eyes or a mouth. The severed sense thread a needle called desire, but the distant body had long softened, long dampened, long disintegrated into a sweet paste of soiled was. The severed sense hoped that the is-worms would somehow choke throatlessly and become worms of was. This was so that the body's was would not was alone. The severed sense intercepted someone else. It became dust. It dissolved into hunger, into thirst, into desire, into relief. By the way, I did just make that up on the spot because this is not the right version of this poem. All right, that was the first one. This one is also working title. It's Gazelle of something. Something is the working bit. It's all angry and mushy and stuff, and I'm not sure what's going on anyway. I wrote it, so I should know, but I don't. I want a rope of blackened hair and a guillotine of blunted bone. I want the sun to blind and erase me, and my echoing mind to untether itself from spine. I want elephants to dig deep into the earth, and bluish-grey fish to breathe the air, the mantle's mirror to start melting, an acid that bores into the earth until we implode. I can hold the fabric of space as I button every hole the star guns made. I can close my breath and sink into the earth, or wrap my wrists in snakes till my fingertips burst. But I cannot stand the beating of your heart in your white throat, like the beating of a warrior's drum. Leave me to seethe in my rotting malice, but don't offer me your throat and tempt my teeth. I don't know how much time I've got left, so I'm not being an asshole, but I'm going to do another one. Awesome. Okay. The teeth of depression weren't sharp. Her fingernails had been bitten off by worry and her sisters, so her fingers weren't sharp. The teeth that depression used to bite me were not sharp, I had thought, because the bruising feeling persisted more than any other feelings did. But then I figured perhaps her saliva had analgesic properties, as apathy and I sat together and watched the blood pool at my ankles. Whilst depression's nails weren't sharp, her hands were not gentle, and the impressions left by her snaking fingers throbbed in time with the interrupted flow of blood. Anxiety said that she didn't think depression was like diseased or anything, but that we should probably get it checked out. So as Tyrone kindly plugged earlier, I am kind of fundraising for a book at the moment called It Doesn't Have to Be Perfect, Darling. And if you follow me on my Instagram, Mrs. Mini-Me, MISSUSMINIME, come find me if you didn't get that. Then you can fundraise and help me do it. I'm at £363 into a £550 goal, so I'm nearly there. Woo!
So, what you've seen there is some evidence of what happens when one host is when someone has more than one name, and one host thinks that person is in the hat and the other one doesn't. So one more time for Ash. Sorry, Allie. One more time for Allie, because my brain went, no, your name is Allie, and then Allie, I'm so sorry. Look, ticketing is odd. I'm so sorry. Allie. One more time for Allie. Also, some of you may be aware that something happened. We don't know what, but something happened with the ticketing system, which means that we weren't aware of some performer tickets, and we were aware of others that definitely shouldn't have been, including my partner, who I think would rather drink acid than perform poetry on a stage. He's got his thumbs up like, yes, I would. So we sort of saw his name and went, something's not right. So what we normally do is we have 7 performer tickets that are available to book in advance online, and that guarantees that you'll be able to perform on the night. And then the rest go in a hat. And we get on as many as we can before 10:30, because I have an hour and a half commute home and I like to go to sleep before midnight, and I never get to. So thank you for snapping so vigorously. So I'm really sorry that things got a bit weird today, and we have more people than we thought who have somehow managed to have performed. Yeah, look, things went a bit wrong, but it's theatre, baby. Things go wrong all the time, and sometimes, look, I've seen like people get smacked in the face with briefcases in the theatre by accident. So, yeah, it could be worse. Right, what's in my hand? What's inside the hat? Oh my gosh! Drum roll, please. Please welcome to the stage for the first time at Process, Shaun.
How are you doing, guys? You good? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit thrown off. I have no idea what I'm gonna perform. So, firstly, actually, Tyrone, shout out to you. That poem was beautiful. I also recently lost my mum, so as you were doing that, it was just resonating with me. And yeah, thank you. One more time for Tyrone, please. Cool. As you can tell, I'm still a bit thrown off. So I'm just going to do something comfortable for me. It's probably the first piece I ever wrote. Old shit. I apologize. I've seen a few familiar faces in the crowd, so if you've heard this piece before, sorry. And if you haven't, please enjoy. There's no theme. Literally, I just started with the line "Return to the stage" and just wrote whatever came to mind. Return to the stage. Took a lot for me to make the return to the page. Energy's been depleted, had to burn me some sage. And my funds have been receding, need to find a new wage. Lately things are losing meaning, need to find a new craze. And what's the point of online dating if no one's finding a bae? Okay, this room felt that too much. Normally people feel that, but that was a lot. Got some wounds that are healing. This is all an escape. This is art for this era. You might find it in Tate. Ain't talking Luna, but legacy is why I pick up my pen. I'm here for one night only. You might not find me again. Actually, you can find me on Instagram. I keep a close eye on my circle and the time that I spend. Now I'm rhyming again. And it's hard to believe that we're vibing again. And my toes are on 10, got to impress straight facts. Man, I'm surprised when they see me disseminate eloquence, think that I can't because I'm black. More times I sit on my own and just business my mind, but these haters, they come and attack. I just sit back and watch all the folly. Got to take time because I just saw the shape of her body. Sorry. Let me show some respect because I know I can do better. Gifted with a plethora of words, and that's how I appreciate. Let me reiterate. Man them. Do better when you're complimenting women. She's more than just her form and her shape. More than the attributes gifted to her when she was born, because you see there's depth behind those eyes. That contagious smile. Those lips that bring inspiration to your life. She wants to better me so I can be a better me. So I'd better be a better me than I've ever been. Bring evergreens and positive energy to her destiny. It's meant to be a synergy to bring the best from me. I'll set the scene. Soliloquies, symphonies create vivid imagery coupled with delivery hitting me bittersweet, but I'll keep this brief. Because you see, time waits for no one. So you've got to carpe diem. Don't half play DMs. Yeah. So you've got to carpe diem. Don't half play DMs. Believe in your source and stick it on them like 3M, but believe them. When they say they only want to be friends, I'm lost here. Lately, I've been drowning in the deep end. Don't pretend to understand the pain that they're feeling. She's calling Marvin Gaye for the wrong kind of healing. There's meaning. There's meaning in the words that you're hearing this evening. And on a side note, I'm tired of parents premature grieving. You're reeling. The thought of being single's relieving. That's why you're catching flights and not feelings, but just wait your turn. Mistakes made, bridges burnt. I'm not bait, but I get the worm. Play with fire, might get burnt. Don't forget, we've all made mistakes. Don't be selfish, life is give and take. Your family's starving, share what's on your plate. You step to me, you'll get the special like Chris. But for now, it is what it is. Thank you.
Okay, and you get the important thing out of the way now. There was a midway plug for the Instagram, but I didn't hear a handle that came out as well. So what is the handle so people can follow you, Shaun?
You just type in Humble Shaun, S-H-A-U-N.
There you go. Follow Humble Shaun and applaud Humble Shaun! As we move on with our chaos of tonight and the wonderful pre-booked, not pre-booked, we don't know vibes of it all, and screw it, we can do what we want to. It's our poetry night and not yours. Yeah, cool. Next up to the stage, we have someone who has quickly become a regular here. Love them to death ever since they've been coming here. And there's such an energy that we kind of like, no, their family, we love that. Can we please welcome, I'm going to adjust this mic because they are a substantial bit taller than me, I feel. So can we please welcome to the stage the one and only Atlas!
You good? I had a different outfit planned for today, but my iron broke this morning. So you don't have to iron football tops, so it's fine. Thank you. Thank you. So this is new. I was gonna read it at the last poetry night I was at, but my name never got picked out the hat. But the poetry god smiled on me today, so we're good. This is called Patience. If you can relate to it, give me a click. If you can't relate to it, give me a click. Cool. According to Google, patience is defined as the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. Well, I was born anxious, so imagine how hard it is for me to be patient. They say it's a virtue. A virtue is behavior showing high moral standards. So tolerating shit that makes my life difficult makes me virtuous. How is that fair? But listen, it's a new year, and New Year resolutions are in order. So my New Year's resolution is to be more patient, because apparently that will make me virtuous. And you should all do it with me. So be patient, because the sun will rise. Be patient, because maybe Marvel will start making good movies again. Be patient, and take some time, because most people are more than what meets the eye. Be patient, and maybe eventually we'll get the Tories out. That always gets a reaction. Fuck the Tories. Be patient, because the weather will get better in a few months. Be patient, because by now you should be used to train strikes. Be patient, because if you're anything like me, then your favorite rapper or singer hasn't dropped an album in forever. And if you've been listening along, waiting for this poem to rhyme, I'm sorry it took me so much time. And be patient, because she will eventually text you back. And be patient, because if you cross the road too soon, you'll get hit by a car. Be patient, take a deep breath, and remember your fucking humanity, because she's allowed to change her mind halfway through. Be patient with me if I misspeak, tell me. If I upset you, tell me. And if I bring a lot of mixer and not enough alcohol to the party again, tell me. Be patient, because if you're anything like me, then patience is something you struggle with. Be patient, because someday Palestine will be free. Be patient, because someone out there loves you. Be patient. Please be patient, because no matter how bad things get, the sun will shine on you again. And remember, be patient, because patience is a virtue. Thank you. How long have I got? 2 minutes. Cool. So the next thing I want to read isn't actually a poem of mine. Who in this room knows who Mac Miller is? Yeah? Okay. So his birthday is actually January 22nd, and it's still January, right? So I wanted to just read a few lines from one of his songs that really resonates with me. And I feel like it's something you guys can take with you for the rest of the year. It's only a few lines. Be without fear in the face of your enemies. Be brave and upright, that God may love thee. Speak the truth, even if it leads to your death. Safeguard the helpless and do no wrong. This is your oath. Thank you. One last thing. The last time I saw Kayla, I told her the poem I read was inspired by her, and she said that if I don't give her credit, she'll sue me. So this is me giving her credit. Yeah. Cool, thank you guys.
Dude, no one needs to be this tall. Did I actually say that?
You didn't say you'd sue me, but it was along the lines.
I was going to say that doesn't sound like me. No, what I probably said was it's customary to, when you write a poem that's inspired by somebody else, to put after 7, right? and I appreciate that. But I would never sue you because I'm genuinely worried that Kathleen Stock's going to sue me for because I fully libelled her in my book. But she'll never read it. Yeah, she's a cunt and she'll never... Sorry, she is, but... Sorry, she's a very famous transphobe if no one knows her. She's awful, but she's also never going to read my book. This was The Poetry Gods... Sorry, I'm so neurodivergent, so I cross my fingers so I don't interrupt people. So I'm like, I'll put the thought here and then I'll remember it. The Poetry Gods fucking smiled on me too last week. I ended up in Southwest Florida for reasons. I hadn't intended to go there, but I was in a place called Naples. There's nothing there. There's nothing there, really nothing. And Florida's generally, if you're not in like Miami, it's super conservative. That's not Miami. And I met someone else there who was my age and a poet and neurodivergent and queer. And I was like, I can't believe I found one of those things in Southwest Florida, let alone all three. Anyway, fucking Poetry Gods. I was like, they must have liked the sacrifices this year. Anyway, all that's to say, I'd fucking brain. One more time for Atlas. Drum roll. I don't even need to call out anymore. Drum roll. Yeah, thank you. Please, over to the stage, another person who's new to the Process family. Please welcome Haroon.
Get on the plane first. God rewards a bias for action. Journey across borders and continents and tread the earth gently, unlike those who forced us to abandon our lands. Once abundant and self-sufficient, now chief importers exacerbating deficits. Get on the plane first and breathe in the air. Free from dust, thick with prejudice and assumptions. Let your feet adjust to roads paved by cold weather and colder hearts. Make a home laced with anxious talk of involuntary repatriation. I was born of all of that. However, defeating anger is joyful. My elders focused on survival so I could thrive, their care intertwined with neglect and dysfunction. Hurt people hurt people. No more dwelling on it and no more looking over my shoulder. It's time to draw a line under all of that. Process it, document it, and then build. Press play to let the movie begin. Thank you. So that is taken from my debut book, which came out last year. So I've got the heart of a poet, but I've got the mind of a salesman and a marketer, so allow me. Got a card reader, all of that. If you want to come see me afterwards, I'm relatively approachable. I also give above average hugs as well. So yeah, check that out. And I also run a poetry night with another guy called the Forrest called BYOB, Bring Your Own Bars. Our 4th birthday party is on February 5th. So just jump onto our Instagram, BYOB Poetry. Still got tickets. It's free. There'll also be cake. Everyone loves cake. Cool. I'm not going to use up more space because I want more people to come on. Have a great evening, everyone. Social media plug. Find me on Instagram at Haroon Creates. Haroon Creates. That's all one word. Thank you.
to continue on with the plugging. Oh, that's smooth, that Tyrone. We had to continue on with the plugging as well. If you like podcasts, Haroon and the Forrest were doing the Forecast podcast as well. Go check that out. Yes. Yeah, again, go check out the podcast. If you're also looking for any more podcasts, we've also got one of the hosts of the Dead Darlings podcast in the room. Go check that out as well. And yes, it's so good. And also coming back at some point in February, I have not figured out when, but at some point in February, the Process podcast will be back as well. So all your podcasting needs. As for your poetry needs, we now, to finish off our open micers for the first half, have a very wonderful family member. One of the first times performing was here, and it's wonderful seeing them grow and seeing how much they've grown in a year and how far they're going. They are a beautiful human being, a beautiful poet, all the beauty that there is there. Please welcome to the stage the one and only Zeph.
Hi everyone. So you have whatever happened with the system to thank for that, because I'm meant to be in the hat. But hey, we take those. I'm not doing a long poem. This is a poem that was actually written this morning. So it's, yeah. I woke up from a dream and I was like, oh, that'd make a good poem. But it's very bare bones right now, so if you don't like it, give it a while. It'll be good eventually. It is written regarding growing up in a hoarder household, so that is a general content warning for that. And it has no title, so if you think of one, please give it to me. I will steal it. I won't steal it, I'll give you credit. Last night, I dreamt that there was a second story to your home, and that this floor's layout was exactly the same as the first. Except these rooms were clean. So if ever you chose when you rose in the morning, you wouldn't need to swim through a sea of trash to greet us. And so when I got home, if I'd ever chose, I could just chill in the living room without a foul stench in the air. And so that while my sister still grows, I'm not used to this poem. Sorry. And so that while my sister still grows, if she ever chose, of course, she would know what it felt like to be raised in a regular household. I have not been back to yours in some time. A home-cooked meal without the flies would be nice. A home-cooked meal with the flies on the side would be nice. Thank you.
This is the thing. We love an open mic and testing out and trying out all the new shit there. We love that, and thank you for doing that. Here's Zeph. We're now going to have a feature to end the first half. Before I do feature introduction, I will do Tyrone host and admin side of things remember, after feature, there'll still be time to buy food and drinks at the bar upstairs, etc. Do that. That kind of helps us run this thing. It's really nice to help kind of get us this space on continuously. So buy things here, please. Also, just because I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, but nevertheless, I'm going to say it because as with Atlas and Kayla, it's good to do an after and show where your things came from. I was not the first person to make Process an open mic night or anything. There was someone before me, a Mr. Louie Antwi. Louie Antwi is in the room today. So we have the original creator of Process in this room. They started it back when I was 14, 15 years old. I inherited it from them when they went to university and I was in sixth form. So you have them to blame for all of this. We will do that later, but a round of applause for Louie Antwi, please, quickly. Had to. But yes, one of the things that obviously has come from doing this night is level of getting poets you love and adore on the stage. This next poet, obviously Kayla's done at the start of the night their big intro of them being Genesis Slam together. I have known of, crossed paths with Emy for a few years now. They are incredible. I'm annoyed that I've not actually got to know them any better, but as many people can attest to, Tyrone is bad at getting to know people. This has become an ongoing thing, which we're realising, and Tyrone is trying to grow. Nevertheless, yes, thank you. But yes, nevertheless, from afar, I keep up to date with what people are doing, etc. And Emy has just been killing it for years and years and years. And it's always that thing of we've almost got a list of here are poets who want to go. And when Kayla was I want Emy, it's yes, cool, done, straight away. I will have Emy on the stage whenever you want to. You're going to see why now, as Emy's going to do a fucking killer set. So can you please welcome to the stage the one and only Emy P!
Hello, everybody. Okay, my name's Emy. I'm from Essex. You can probably tell by the voice. Sorry about that. Not apologetic, actually. I fucking love Essex. This first piece is about growing up in Essex, and there was a very special place where we would go when we were 15 and go and get stoned and escape from our parents and, do all the things we shouldn't. And whilst this is about Basildon in Essex, it's for anyone who had a place like that where your friends gathered when you were 15, 16, right? Or even now, because sometimes I still go up there. This piece is called Mud Hill. My teenage years look a lot like Mud Hill. I don't know why we called it that. It was so much more than mud. That place holds every memory. It's seen my tears, my sweat, my blood. We kissed each other's girlfriends and we blindly called it love, taking each other's clothes off and drinking Strongbow out of mugs. Sorry, a lot of 90s references here, 89 born. Collected change to top up our phone because a conversation don't come for free. And to let my mum know I'm not dead in a ditch, the text is 20 fucking p. And it's £2 for a box of 10. Thieving household lighters. Lying to our parents so that we could pull all-nighters. Bars and verses spilling out every one of us songwriters. Gnat bites, wet legs from the grass and pockets full of spiders. But we knew how to ruin a good thing. And we took it a step too far, always doing things we shouldn't in the back of some bloke's car. And we were underage, but it didn't stop him kissing her. Hands in other places, and in my adult brain, that's sinister. We passed out under benches. I dared her to drink a bottle of hock. Vomit in her hoodie, in her hair and in her socks. I swear I thought I'd killed her. I didn't, it's fine. She's 30 now. But I still apologise whenever I see her doing her shopping down the town, because back then we were family. We were ride or die, sharing secrets into a dictaphone and scream into the sky. The stars became our nightlight, even though we weren't asleep, wet legs buried under blankets, trying to warm our muddy feet, because summer ain't really summer at 4 a.m. There's very little heat. So we followed flickered lampposts down grey and dormant streets. We were fearless in the alleyways. We had our strength in numbers. Snakebite piercings, blackened eyes and slipknot on our jumpers. Kicking cans and holding hands, listening to emo bands through a CD Walkman, held with a careful grip, because if you're moving around too carelessly, you know the track will skip. And we're all angry at something, because it's just the modern way. When you're 16 and you're silenced and you've got so much to fucking say, I swear in some ways not much has changed. Because 17 years on, I still go against the grain. And it's embellished in the clothes I wear and in my reckless mind instilled. So I'll be fighting for something until life pulls the plug. Together forever on Mud Hill. Thank you. you're a really loud person, people find it really hard to believe that you're incredibly nervous. But I can assure you I am, no matter how many years I've done this for. Whether it's, here, anywhere, I'm always find myself a bag of nerves, and then gradually I'm kind of thawing out a bit. This next piece is called Tea Like Candles. I released an album in January last year. It's like a spoken word music kind of concept album about sort of ADHD and love and how it affects different areas of my life. And this piece is about falling in love, but not all the brilliant bits about it, all the really hard bits as well. So this is called Tea Like Candles. It's a mad love. She says she's going to run me wild, and I surrendered with my hands up. Turn the pages back a few with the world's worst secret, but a secret ain't a secret if you both don't want to keep it. Stuck somewhere between mates and lovers, touching legs in your car till you pull me in by the neck and say, babe, you know what we are. With a grain between our toes, with the water around our ankles, we're vodka blankets, new romantic sex, and tea like candles. She's a great one. Playing fast and hard with our hearts and careless with our loose tongues. She's got me hooked on everything or something out of nothing, because for the first time in a long time, I think this might be something. Like aftertaste coating mouths like smoke and sugar cane. She don't waste time trying to bring me sunshine when I'm a sucker for the rain. It's a tough love. And with fists clenched, this fight or flight, we hold on tight when we know we fucked up. She says she needs a ride or die, and she says she needs stability, because underneath the bricks and mortar, she's just porcelain fragility. But I think I've got the ability to hold her gently and keep her safe, making sure she doesn't break. And if she does, I'd glue each and every fragment of her broken back in place. I'd measure and mark and hang her like art. Not afraid of our past or ashamed of our scars. And I tell her the moment we start hiding is when we lose who we are. It's a wild love. And I am reckless. She is brave, intensely craving all my bad stuff. I push my hands into her face to fill the spaces in my head. I watch her pupils dance around me as I push her wrists into the bed. God, I love her dirty mouth and all the messy things she says. Her tongue, her teeth, her lips. Her tongue, her teeth, her lips, she grips and strips away my cover like I've never felt with any other. And I find pieces of her everywhere. Eyelashes from her spider eyes cling to the kinks in my straw-like hair. The pages of my notepad, my words are dripping in her venom. Smells, looks, coastlines, Kendrick songs in the pockets of my denim. She's the grain between my toes. She's the water around my ankles. She's vodka blankets, new romantic sex, and tea like candles. Thank you. One of the reasons why I'm so nervous is because I'm doing a new poem. Yeah. This next piece is called Don't Believe in Magic. And I wrote this recently after my granddad passed away, who I was really close to. And it got me thinking that actually having such good influences around me taught me really young that I could, be whoever I wanted to be, but also I could get myself out of some really difficult situations just by being funny or a showman or being loud, which is a great skill to have when you're a kid. They don't teach you that actually it can be damaging as you grow older and you're constantly trying to people please and you're doing the wrong thing and you can't keep your mouth shut and whatever. But there's beauty in the magic of that. So this is called Don't Believe in Magic. I don't believe in magic, but I have always been a magician. Even as a cheeky nipper. Smiley faces, chicken dippers. Me and my brother deconstructing our dinners, pretending we were on MasterChef, and I was always the winner. Childhood Christmas baking, wearing aprons double my size. To keep it in place, I have to wrap the ties round my waist twice. Festive tunes and wooden spoons, blowing flour on our faces and finding fun in disobedience, singing fairy tale in New York as we gather the ingredients. 20p's and other silvers wrapped in foil helping mum, making Christmas pudding, and if you happen to find one, then it's good luck forever and ever, forever eating with anticipation. Full of elation when Grandad says he's found money in his bowl. Little would to we to know that he'd swapped a 20p for a £20 note. And just with that quick anecdote left smiles on faces and giggles in throats. Magic. I used to scoop out my boiled egg and turn the perfect empty shell over in its cup. My dad played into the theatrics. Man was lapping it up, tapping it over and over with a silver spoon grin, both secretly knowing no yolk or white lay within. Magic. I knew it wasn't real, but I was the magician. Cape, hat and wand. Stars spark from me like bonfire night, and I set every room alight with my presence. Remember, I knew that magic came from performance, and performance came from years of needing to express myself. And needing to express myself came from feeling lost, and feeling lost came from a buzz that never quite went away until I became the magician, and then it was silenced. Magic. Puff of smoke. No time to choke. I've got laughter to create and side orders of sentiment to play. And in lifetimes from now, they'll remember my face because I'll make moves so big that they can see me from space. Watch, Mum and Dad. I'll take everything that's vexed us and turn them into sparkles, and I'll wear it like a necklace. Can never keep my hand still too at once I'm ambidextrous. I just want to make you laugh just like I did when it was breakfast. It may not be death saws, card tricks or hidden traps, bending spoons, levitation or even a bullet catch. It's not cups and balls or guillotines or rabbit pull from hats. Instead, it's standing proudly in my chaos and not doing a disappearing act. I don't believe in magic, but I have always been a magician, and I did it every last trick without a glamorous assistant. Excited at this point because they're like, oh, she's got out a guitar. Listen, my job outside of this is I teach kids, but I teach kids that are like 5 to play guitar, so I'm still very much on wheels on the bus. You haven't got that, don't worry.
They go round and round.
Yeah. Okay, this piece is called Waves. This is on the album. The album is called Lights, Chaos, Action. And you can, my name is spelled Emy, E-M-Y.P. And this piece is called Waves because I always see, I think all of us some way are kind of addicts, whether it be our phone or drink or cigarettes or sex or shopping or whatever. And for me, whenever I feel low, it's really easy, too easy to turn to those things to make me feel temporarily better. But that doesn't always happen for me. It comes in waves. And I know that that's the same for a lot of people, right? So this one is about that. I don't like the mic for this one, I don't think. It's the fear, I guess. It's the fear that I won't ever amount to much, and it's an ache in my chest. And it pushes down on my heart and it tells me I'm not good enough, so I reach for a bottle. I reach for a bottle and I call it medicinal, cause for a while it eases everything. Until I try and get sober, then it's just not mental pain, it's physical. And I wish you all knew me before this. I wish I knew myself like back when everything was sunnier, but it's becoming a bit of a joke now. Cause I felt the punchline too many times and it never gets funnier. And I guess I'm just grieving. I'm just grieving for the woman that I expected to be. But for now I'm gonna reach for a bottle to drown my sorrow, let the current take me out to sea. I've always felt the waves. High tide every time they're pulling me in. I've always felt the waves. I capsize every time, cause I'll never learn to swim. I'll never learn. Starting to think it's never gonna happen. I'm losing faith in myself that I could change my experience. So I say I'm gonna make the change Monday. But then Monday turns into Tuesday, and Tuesday becomes every day that I don't make a difference. That I don't have enough self-respect just to see that I need more. So I need to think positive. Law of attraction, God, what give just a fraction of that. Align an open door, cause I'm just tired of starting over. Do you know how draining it is to pick yourself up when you know you're gonna fall, and then you starve and you save? Abstinence and you cave because you crave the bit to spit the buzz and the comfort of it all. I don't expect you to understand me.
But just be patient, cause I know that there's better days for me. But for now I'm gonna reach for anything to drown my sorrow, let the current take me out to sea. I've always felt the waves. I tried every time they're pulling me in. I've always felt the waves. I capsize every time, cause I'll never learn to swim. I'll never learn to swim, but I wanna learn to swim. Thank you. I've got one more piece, and then I'll leave you to have a nice break. You can find me on social media at Emy, Emy P, mate. Emy P, mate. That's what I say, because I'm from Essex. I'm Emy P, mate. Okay. The last one. Yes. My last piece is my favourite poem that I've ever written, and favourite shit. I always say if like I could just like, if I would cut myself in half, this would very much be me inside. It's like it's a hug to my 15-year-old self who really didn't think I was going to amount to much, really. Yeah, and I didn't like myself much. So this is a poem to that version of Emy saying it's all good. This piece is called The Number Rhymes. Thank you for having me, Process. Cheers. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Attention. It's always been a bone of contention, cause it's not that I was lying, I just forgot to mention. Please don't take it personally, there simply is no reinforcement. You try retaining information when your brain has decided it ain't important. Now some things stay with me forever and distract me from the protocol, like this little number rhyme that keeps me awake at night that I learned in 2005 in school. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. If I'm not acting by accordance or the rules, they'll call me non-compliant. Small minds showering me with their ignorance, but you can't play God with neuroscience. Caught in a vortex, my frontal cortex controls my daily function. It's hard to focus when your Bugatti brain is stuck at every junction. But living life at full speed, for me, I see the benefit. But I eat my own insides, plagued with low self-esteem because society taught me it was a deficit. Attention deficit. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And for most, it may seem illogical and beyond all comprehension. But there are things in this world that my transmitters concluded were worthy of my attention. And in that, there is no deficit. And I can only see the benefit of drowning in the passion of my art because the bones in my body were meant for it. Proactive or hyperactive, there is no difference. We all start at square one. Except I'll work twice as hard if I want it enough, because bottom line, I'll get shit done. Tapping, clapping, clicking, flicking, eyes are darting, head is glitching screens. It means my head is a Mac. And every part of me is browsing every open tab. And every time I try to cursor clicks the X, but in the time it's taken to close, I thought the next one starts to refresh. I'm trying my best. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And whilst considered a disorder, I've kind of learned to disagree. Because the colour, chaos and disarray are now the bits I love the most in me. So show me the disorder in compassion, turning social rejection into resilience. Because a neurodivergent against the clock can display creative brilliance. Show me the disorder in taking risks, turning my wildest dreams into fruition. Show me the disorder in razor-sharp humour, persistence and ambition. Show me the disorder in curiosity, movement, expression and fun. And show me the disorder in ADHD, because in me I can't see 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Only the best for you.
So that's worth us coming back to Process, isn't it? Can we get another round of applause for the one and only Emy?
The first time I heard that poem was at Genesis, and I was talking about it to like everyone I met for the next like 2 weeks. It's so fucking good. It's also, as you were doing that poem, it occurred to me, by the next process in February, I'll know whether I have ADHD as well as autism. Sorry, did you say I'm fairly sure you do? No, look, there's a lot of crossover. I could just be autistic. It's unlikely, though. Anyway, we're both on stage. What does that mean?
It means we are going for a break now. We've had a lot of poetry, so go get a break, go get some fresh air, go get some food from the bar, go get some drinks, go talk to poets that you liked,
Come back at 9:05.
Yes, 9:05.
By the way, the reason we're plugging to buy stuff at Rule Zero is they give us the space for free. So buy drinks.
Also, the space is lovely, and the food here is also lovely as
yeah,
well.
and the people are wonderful.
Also, it's good to eat. People eat.
And
eat
drink
food.
things.
Eat and drink. Sustenance is important.
Also, both of our books are for sale over there. Anyway, go have an interval. Bye.
Interval.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Are we fed? Are we watered? Did we talk to all the poets and tell them how much we love them? Did we say thank you, Rule Zero, for giving us a lovely space?
Vibes, things happen.
Everyone go for a wee, have a cigarette. Tulu's fucking with us is what's happening. Welcome back to the second half. Are we excited about more poetry? I don't think they're excited about more poetry, Tyrone. That's theatre for prove it.
I mean, I was tempted to go into teacher vibe, but I'm not really teacher to do that kind of thing.
Well, welcome back. We hope you had a lovely interval. We've got more poetry in the second half. I already said that, didn't I? I definitely don't have ADHD, Fiona. What are you talking about?
Nevertheless, we are getting back into the start of things, though, as people are coming back to their seats, finishing off their peeing, finishing off their drinking, finishing off their smoking, finishing off their maybe taking of insulin, I don't know. We are going to go into this second half, but as with the first half, as with so many nights, level of, we don't want to just thrust a random open mic on stage, so... to play into the whole panto thing of like they're going to stage to come back on stage in a very quick second. Nevertheless, though, for my intro for them today, like I have done so many intros about them as a poet and a person in all that kind of way. For right now, given all of their vibe, but especially the last 2 months. I know it's some level of referencing and cliche because Tyrone is a reference cliche person and I've obviously got the book out, but Kayla is truly family for me. Like, it's always been that person, and in the Tyrone is growing and evolving and being better at things as well, of like, when I started process when I was doing it as like my video stuff and whatnot, it was so much of my baby, and it's been such a weird, hard thing to kind of hand off to someone, work with someone, let someone in to. But as Tyrone becomes less precious about all the things that I do, wonderfully switching tensions from third to first person there. We saw that, cool. Nevertheless, as... Fuck it, back to third person. As Tyrone slowly kind of, not relinquishes the reins, but like gets less precious about it and properly gives Kayla the respect that Kayla deserves. And is like, Kayla is so much of process. Kayla is so much of the soul of process. Tyrone, as has been described, is a bit of a bitch sometimes. We need Kayla to be the humanity of process, as chaotic as they can be. Kayla is such a wonderful human. Also a wonderful poet, and yes, poets can be humans too, apparently. So let's see that combination on stage as we now welcome Kayla Feldman to the stage!
Okay, so as I mentioned, I was in Florida recently for reasons. Anyway, I was in Naples and I saw these all new shit. It's all new shit. Notebook. I know. When was the last time I did new shit? Nobody fucking knows. So in Florida, some people have signs on their lawn that say, "We don't call the cops." And I saw that, and I was like, "Oh my god, BLM signs in Florida." That's not what they mean. It means they have guns in the house. Yeah. It means they have guns in the house and they handle it themselves. So I wrote this poem called We Don't Call the Cops. In this house, we handle it ourselves. So if you dare to take a step across this threshold, you better be prepared to get taken care of. Because we open carry in this house, meaning when you can't pick yourself up anymore, when the heavy gets too big for your pockets, you can drop your bones on this step, tumble through this open door, and be handled gently. We don't call the cops, we call the pizza guy with the nose ring and the mustache because he gives us a wink with our order and makes our mama blush. We don't call the cops, we call the president. Ask him if his fridge is running and if so, whether he thinks he can catch him up in the polls. Thank you for laughing at that joke. Lexi didn't get it. We don't call the cops, we call Ben, and we call Jerry, because this ain't a sleepover without him. We don't call the cops, we call Mags from number 10, because her chocolate chip cookies are to die for, and a biscuit death is the only one we want tonight. We don't call the cops in this house, because we don't believe in trespass. This is not a private property, and we are packing empathy. We take care of it ourselves. We can handle it. So come on in. I've got time, so I'm doing another one. As we mentioned, Tyrone's mum, who was part of the original Process family, passed away on the 2nd of January, and I was so ready to drop everything, and Tyrone was like, "I don't need you today, I need you tomorrow." So I was like, well, I guess I'll go about my day then. And I felt weird doing that, but I was like, I don't know what else to do. So I went to where I write, and I wrote this poem, which is not about Kaz, but this was a poem I wrote where I was trying to just do a normal day when finding out my friend had just died. And happily, the next day, I went round to Tyrone's and we played Simpsons Scrabble and watched Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping, and danced around his living room singing Mother Lover by The Lonely Island. Does anybody know that song? I'm a mother lover, you're a mother lover, we should fuck each other's mothers. Yeah, great song. Anyway, this is called We Are... We don't have time! This is called We Are Stepping Out the Front Door Today, and it's after Lauren Zaniga. Lace up your kicks, pal. We are stepping out the front door today. Knock off the latch, throw it wide open. Let the breeze hit your ass on the way out. We're going to do this every day. This is the year of outside. Duvet days are done. Even when the sky unzips itself the way you hate. We got waterproofs from skull to toe, and we are going to walk in them. You wake up hungry, eat the world. After breakfast. Let your jaw dangle. Open up that trap and show everybody those teeth made for chomping. Swallow the talk, hack up the do. Get another pair of boots for dancing. One more for the trail. Throw out them spikes no good for walking. That's what you need. The green and blue and brown of this bark, that sky, those leaves, so you can tell me what colors I'm missing. Touch grass is what I'm saying. Take a hike, get lost. Don't come back until you've got something to show for it. This is the year of do the damn thing. You know what that means? It means do the damn thing. Don't let a single thought swim into that big head of yours without catching its tail. Quit taking mental health days. These are your mental health days. Get up, get vertical, move your tuchus, and lace up those shoes. We are stepping out the front door today. The problem is that when you write that on the 2nd of January, you have to see it through and then leave the house every day. Anyway, Would you like another feature poet? Oh, you're so lucky you are. I keep whacking my mouth against this microphone, which is super gross, and I'm wearing lipstick. I'm so sorry. As I mentioned earlier, I picked both headliners today. So you're welcome. I had never heard of this poet before I saw them at Genesis Slam, where they beat me, so deservedly though. And like when I say that, I was like angrily like half yelling at Laurie, saying that Takunda or Emy needed to win, and Laurie was like politely saying, "I don't have any control here. I can't do that." And I was like, "But they need to win," and he was like, "You should all win," and I was like, "Fuck off." Anyway, yeah, so that happened. Yes. It did. Anyway, Takunda is one of the most spectacular poets I have ever seen in my entire life, and I've been on the scene for 11 years. She is something truly special that really only comes around like once in a generation, or maybe like a handful of times in a generation, but like she is special. Both of the headliners that we have tonight have this incredible ability to force you to listen to them while making you think it was your choice. It is magic. She is so fucking impressive. I believe recently moved to the UK. Did I get that wrong? From New Zealand? Did I make that up? Yes, no, I'm correct. I also can't fucking see anything. So, London is so lucky to have this poet. Please welcome to the stage, Takunda.
Thank you, Kayla, for the best introduction I've ever received in my entire career. Emy was right. I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'm also extremely nervous. So I'm just going to jump into a poem to help myself get rid of all the nerves. So here we go. When a child is born, its body arrives first, followed by the sounds of its cries. So if a body is always to arrive before the voice it belongs to, what is it our skin has already whispered into the ears of strangers before we've had a chance to speak for ourselves? Women who look like my mother are nothing if not foreign. Men who look like my father are nothing if not violent. We have all seen day turn to night, and it is safe to say that blackness enters the room with no sound. So where did we hear these rumors that turn street corners into high school corridors? Patrolling sirens whisper about us here, spilling secrets and bloodshed into the neighborhoods we thought we were safe in, into the homes we thought peace could be found in. You cannot claim to be colorblind, choose to wipe this earth empty and destitute of color. I am black. You can claim to be colorblind, and I am still black. Don't we know sound cannot travel within a vacuum, so how can you claim to hear me if you refuse to see me first? Mashona, my people, believe that gratitude is not only to be spoken, but it is to be acted. That is to say, in giving thanks, I will always show you before I tell you. It is always body, then voice. The body is the leader to which the voice is the disciple that follows. It is always body, then voice. Body, then voice. Tinotenda. 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 The body is a vessel through which I am always giving thanks. This body always comes in peace. It is a carving of everything that I come from and everything that I belong to. Today, I want you to see everything that we come from and everything that we belong to. I hope that you will hear me. But dear God, do I pray that you will see me first. Ndokutendai. Zvinondifadzisa kuve kuno kunas. Kwandinobva tinofarira zvikuru kutaura nevamwe vanhu, saka ini ndoda kutendai kuti muri kunditeerera nhasi. That is to say that it is such a blessing to be listened to, but what a greater blessing it is to be heard. So I thank you for that. I'm excited to share poems with you today. So let's share some poems. The year is 1888 in Zimbabwe, where a missionary falls in love with a colonizer, vowing to evangelize a colonial testimony to leave this motherland, baptized neck deep in holy water. And I wonder, if their first daughter is black, queer, and Christian, what values will they teach her to stand on? Which parts of herself will they tell her to spit damnation on? And they say love is blind. So when this little girl decides to paint on the walls for the first time, I imagine they'll make a woman out of her, tell her get on your knees and get to scrubbing, tell her turn all that Picasso into peroxide, erase all this color until those four walls look like milk. And I suppose it's funny how white reflects all color, scatters it to places it can no longer be seen, be remembered, while black absorbs all colors like they are something to be held close, to be afraid of, to be ashamed of, because when you are made a target both for who you love and where you come from, the body turns a minefield of dichotomies. How can you learn to love a body that is housing something so desperate to kill you? For queer black girls whose blackness has grown so dark, it is the very thing that haunts them. We suckle on prayers now. Cry, hallowed be his name and hallowed be our souls. Knees broken over an altar while we pray to be altered. Hailing to a Father in heaven, fair-skinned and blue-eyed, we were racialized, and it was legitimized by a white man's self-glorifying gospel before God. These arms lift themselves on high. And isn't that the blackest way to exist? Always so peaceful in our surrender. But if Jesus had two fathers, will they crucify us too? Black, queer, and Christian, we are tired of hacking off pieces of ourselves to give to you like communion bread. Black, queer, and Christian, we have this prophet of a pathway in our spine leading back to 1888 in Zimbabwe, where the riches of our country still belonged in the hands of a black pot somewhere beyond a rainbow. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really grateful to Kayla for inviting me to be a part of Process. I was saying to her in the interval that this is like one of the warmest poetry spaces I've ever been in. I feel so free and comfortable here. So thank you so much for creating that space. Also, before Emy, your last poem just literally blew me away, and I was sitting there going, fuck, I love this stuff. Like, I literally love poetry so much. Like, I was just reminded of like why we choose to do this. I think a lot of the time for the poems I'm writing them to a lot of people in my community, but your poem also reminded me the necessity of writing for myself, and I thought it inspired me today to perform a poem that I wrote fucking ages ago. Sorry that I literally swear so much, and I've realized that British people aren't like that. Sorry, New Zealanders, we have no fucking manners. Sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna do a really old poem. So bear with me if I forget bits, if I cry a little, let's cry together. Yeah, it'll be fun. So here goes nothing. When immigrant homes turn their queer children into foreigners, we begin a second migration. The words queer and African are two words that have forgotten how to coexist in the same sentence, how to coexist in one body. In African spaces, your queerness is made to migrate to the dirt beneath your feet, hear it whimper and fracture beneath pounding drums and dancing feet, its suffocation bleeding into the polyrhythms. Over lunch, a friend and I discuss how homophobia was a colonial import, how its laws and legislation were implemented without the consultation of the local people. Him, a queer Ethiopian man who had to run from his home when love ceased to exist between the four walls. He had to chase a love that was greater than any tradition. Him gifting me his story as if to say, you can do it too. There is nothing to lose and everything to gain. Me, a Zimbabwean queer woman, running from a home folding in on itself, like the bookmarked pages of a Bible, my entire life packed into a tiny suitcase, into the hands of friends who grabbed everything they could and ran. Because as black bodies, sometimes we are not afforded the luxury of doubt. Sometimes it is grab everything and run. Sometimes it is act and process later. Sometimes it is run because it is all you know to do in the moment. Sometimes it is carry your own shaking bones and be held by the friendly bodies who have more strength than you do in the moments after. Run because your body has survived a migration from safe places once before. Run because I am certain I can survive it again. That's the first time I've done that poem and not cried. I always cry when I do that poem, but that didn't happen today, and that's just a reflection of how different my life looks from the point that I wrote that poem. Yeah, what a good life it is to live. Yeah. I'm gonna do 2 more poems. Can I just quickly record this and send it to my grandma, because this woman, she'll kill me if I don't do it. And also, this woman doesn't speak a word of English. I don't know why she's asking me to send her something she can't understand. But anyway. Oh, girl, no, you don't worry. She doesn't know anything about the angles. I'm sorry to you. Okay. Ndisati ndatombozvarwa panga patoiswa ropa nesimba kumashure kwezvese zvinondifambisa saka mungatisei kuti vanhu vedu havasi zvese zvinoshamisa. Birthed from the village of Shirugwi, my people would tell stories of Ngozi, the avenging people, cloaked from crown to soul in the skins of past wildlife, faces dusted white in upfu, teeth, bones, feathers and fibers bejeweled around their necks like medallions. You could never quite tell if they were more muti or moon, more foliage or figure Ngozi. Spoke in whispers to the forebearers who told them how to heal the land and how to bring healing unto the people. The best translation given in a tongue that is not my own is Ngozi, meaning witch doctor, or Ngozi, meaning wizard. Do you see it? How imperial tongues spit and spin. The possibility of Africans being able to bring healing unto ourselves into a feat of mythology. Do you see it? God forbid the Africans do anything for themselves, so where are our white saviors? Our developmental deities, our diasporic children who were taught to go learn Western values so they can come back and rescue their homelands. Do you see it? How assimilation has become a tool for white preservation. We don't believe in Ngozi anymore. We believe in Cape to Cairo, the UN and UNICEF, civilizing and modernizing sub-Saharan borders stay burning and bursting, but the arsonists are here to put out the fire. Firing their cannons through their world vision lens, poised and grinning, with children turning carcass draped over their shoulders in this industrial toxic tourist machine, but fumes are no reason to close your eyes, so keep smiling. Dissolving corneas almost look like crying, almost look like empathy. Chokwadi vakatorinka dzedu ndimakazvitanga asi kana tese tavigwa tichatarisa kudenga tichauchidzwa kuti Africa icharamba ichisimuka. Do you hear it? How the allies remain shouting, but the Ngozi were always whispering, and I believe this to be the tune we've become tone deaf to. We don't believe in Ngozi anymore. But remember, you can never quite tell if they are more muti or moon, more foliage or figure. So look around, because Ngozi have always been standing right behind you. Thank you. It is getting late, so I'm going to do one last final poem. We're about to hop into February, so Valentine's Day. I'm trying to be my lover girl era. This is going to be the closest I will ever get to writing a love poem. So yeah, here's my version of what a love poem is. We are gathered here today to witness the joining of two lives, the unification of souls as they become one flesh, the extension of communion itself. So, with this diamond ring, do you take joy in how many Africans died mining your happily ever after? Our continent was a gold mine, a gorging belly. We lived swollen, throbbing at the diamond deposits in our arteries. The first step to siphoning a man from the body of water that is his land is to liquidate his assets and call it water bending, claim all his wealth and name it a fortune telling, a foretelling of the fire and brimstone to rain down upon a continent of stolen gemstones. So many declarations of love have mined us and maimed us, left us dismembered and dilapidated, forced us to cough up our riches like kidney stones. So many unnamed men sacrificed in the name of Michael Hill and Tiffany's. So is it wicked of me to call this wedding a funeral when there are vows being exchanged over our tombstones? Is it wicked of me to wear white to the wedding when the bride is not the only thing being surrendered? Is it wicked of me to hate how a diamond glistens, how it bounces light, like there is a man trapped inside and shooting a flare gun, but no one speaks of it. We just forever hold our peace. And the bride and groom say, I do. And we all clap till our hands bleed raw, leaving us all red-handed. Thank you.
I think we treat you pretty well, I'd say. One more time for Takunda, everyone! Before we continue on with the open mic, I want to take this moment to kind of be on my soapbox and say, I know most of you already do, but make sure you are going to other poetry nights. So the whole reason we found Takunda and again, knew of Emy, Takunda, and all that kind of stuff, but the whole reason we got Takunda and Emy here is we saw them at Genesis. Go to other poetry nights. There are so many good poets there. Again, Genesis this Thursday. I'm not naming all of them, but if you want all of them, a good thing to go to is Where the Word Things Live on Instagram, as run by our very own Fiona Broadhurst. But yes, go to other nights, support other poets, do all of that stuff. There's so much happening in the scene here. I will also, and as I go on my extra soapbox as well, also, if you have the means to, get out of London as well. Poetry exists outside of London as well. It's a thing that happens. If you're free around the middle of February, or it's end of February, the festival's got a whole load of shit happening in Birmingham, etc. Do that shit. And I'm not saying that just because I'm featuring there on the 22nd. By the way, I'm featuring there on the 22nd. But also, it's got a whole long weekend of workshops and different events, etc. There's so much poetry happening around the UK. Obviously, I know getting around the UK costs a lot of money, so I'm not expecting everyone to do that. If you have the means to, look at what's happening around the UK. Also, look online, look on YouTube, etc. Just engage with poetry as best as you can do. Please. Cool. Soapbox off, and now segueing, speaking of going to other nights, this next poet to kind of start this next open mic section, I've seen a couple of times at Everything. They've been really incredible there, and I'm expecting them to be incredible here. Please can you welcome to the stage the wonderful Lily!
I am Lily, not Louie. I apologize. I feel a little bit embarrassed reading this after what we've just heard because this is a really silly poem. It's really silly. Can I ask, is anyone watching Love Island at the moment? Because it's about something that just happened on Love Island. Just a quick little bit of context. Currently, Love Island All-Stars is happening. People have been on it before. They're back on Love Island. And there's this couple who came in. They met on Love Island, dated for 3 years, split up 6 months ago, and are now on Love Island together. There was a game of Truth or Dare the other night where it was revealed how many people the man had slept with since they broke up 6 months ago. This poem is about that, because yeah. And it's embarrassing, but... Anyway, I wrote this this afternoon, so very much. All is fair in Truth or Dare while playing Suck and Blow. A sentence. I find it easier to hold this, if that is possible. Nope, that's cool. All is fair in Truth or Dare while playing Suck and Blow. A sentence that can only mean ITV's dating show. While Hannah's puckered lips are far too filled for prime airflow, a failed pass to Callum's mouth means it's his turn. No saying no. It's a truth. And Arabella asks with... Sorry, this is so silly. It's a truth, and Arabella asks with whom he would now recouple. He replies, that's way too tame. I like it ruthless. Don't make it subtle. The boys look on with glowing eyes, sensing soon comes trouble. Without a pause, Anton asks, how many girls have you shagged since splitting with Molly 6 months ago? There is shock around the fire pit, gaping mouths and widened eyes, and Callum shakes his head, knowing precisely what ahead lies. Molly, his ex-girlfriend, starts counting up to 5, and he starts to make excuses for the number likely high. Cut out the excuses and just tell us, say the boys. All focus is on Callum and his hopefully not pregnant pause. We can see he knows the answer. We can see he knows the answer. There's no ballpark for us in store. 16, he tells the camera. Sorry, this is called Callum's 16 shags as well. 16, he tells the camera. 16 in 6 months. 16 is a busy boy. The fire pit is horrified and reeling from the truth. Callum's eyes are fixed on Molly, the ex-girlfriend 6 months new. Gone are days of feeling sorry, no more licking open wounds. Anton says you wanted ruthless, and he got ruthless with a view. 16 is almost one a week if they're not one-night stands. But I did a month in Bali, he says, like it's fine if it happened on sand. 16, you'd need a Google Docs. You're fucking back to back. And sure as shit, your sheets are still wet from your last ejaculate. Yeah, that's a rogue rhyme. But more than this is Callum's honesty in proclaiming Sweet 16. And I think that's what has warranted this poem out of me. There was no shame, no pride. He said 16 just simply. I think if you were shagging just to shag, you wouldn't know the specificities. There was no pause for counting, no estimate, no probably. He knew that number off by heart, not fumbling for it from his willy, which suggests to me he wasn't looking for 16 reasons to wash the sheets. He had had a breakup, and not knowing how to feel, fucking was the only way he knew to get deep. This is modern heartbreak to our feeling frozen men. Gone are the days of drinking, fighting tears with dodgy ket. It's cheaper to instead buy for her pleasure ribbed Durex and live counting your numbers instead of leaning on your friends. I feel for you, young Callum, with your sexy Shrek-esque looks. If only you knew words for feelings live in more than children's books. That you cannot just slay dragons, kiss the girl, and feel all good. That the end of 3 good years will hurt, yet you will make it through. So do your best with Georgia S. in the hideaway tonight. Do your best hiding your bulging, 17 schlonging third leg eyes. And just spend some time with Callum. Hold his hands and not his prize. Let the one who found 16 feel all his heartbreak. Have a cry. I promise you'll feel better. I promise you'll move on. I promise that you'll find a girl who'll be your shining sun. And one day ex-girl Molly will be happy for your love while they're airing Love Island, the All-Stars Children's Special, watching her daughter bang your son.
Did anyone else, when you said the number, think, only 16? Sorry, 6 months is a long time. No? Okay. I guess I'm just outing myself then. One more time for Lily, everyone. As you sort of got almost introduced earlier, very similar names. Please welcome to stage our next open micer, who has been a member of the family for several months now. Please welcome the wonderful Louie, and you're tall as well.
Exactly, bitch. You know how it is. All right. Hi. Thank you. Oh, I'm great. Such lovely people. Stuff like that. How is everyone tonight? Woo! Absolutely. It's lovely here at the Love Island shit. It's like, mwah, chef's kiss. It's like that. Okay, so I think people who know how I write poetry are somewhat unsurprised that I wrote this on the way here. Again, it's just so many great ideas from the tube. It's like so great. You just get everybody talking and shit. It's like amazing. Yes, tube shit. All right, I'm just like, I'm trying to like not tilt it too much. Okay. Okay. Well, here it is. All right. I took the weight of it all in my hands, considering all I could ever hope to have, taking all the possible ways I'm allowed to live. I consider my ground, the shifting hills of regrets past, the dirt cloaked in half-thought dreams, to see my life as actions made in rooms I had no hand in building, played out every cycle, every time I take the weight of my head in my hands, every time I see dancing darkness between my fingers. I was told to consider the value of my past, incorporate it with my weekly budget, disperse it through my days and moments like water clinging to windows, pulling the marks away, renewing myself, keeping myself still, staying measurable, staying right there. This world of numbers, this world of figures, I should think on the number of memories I still hold, their capacity, their tragedy. Yes, I'll keep in mind. I'll allow myself time to analyze if meeting with them is the best for me. There's a broken vase lying there on the windowsill, already gone far in my past. The water left its mark in faint lines, tracing down the armoire and ending at the dot on the floor. Sure, I'll keep it there, to give myself some reminder of value. I'll let dust collect under the fragments to remind myself that I'm still here. And when the light reflects through and paints shadows, blue, beige, carmine, and I'll remember what it's like to be undefined, when I took my hands like knitting needles and played small mercies, finding the right chord. No. Simply a chord, purely for me. And you know we found nothing but silence here. Between the ticks and taps of quiet streets. Come into my hands, like some tuneless melody, and take all sense of value away from me. Have I got 2 minutes? Okay, great. Love that. Okay, so this one, I generally just forgot it on the spot. Here it is again. Right. This most recent one I put on my Instagram account, which well, you just come up to me. Yeah, just come up to me. It's a good time. I'm too tired to say my name or whatever the fuck. Yeah, thank you. I don't even have to say it. It's great. Okay, I just realized we're underground and it doesn't fucking load on my phone. 1 second. This is da-da-da-da, da-da-da. We've got to do a little dance to forget that I did something. Tell you what,
Wi-Fi is rule 0 and buy some food.
I've already made a different decision, but thank you for that. It's good stuff. Yep. I am going to read from a little notebook of fun little poems that I write and stuff like that. I was going to say, oh, these are the depressing poems that I regularly write on my notebook. It's a good time, you know. But let's see. All right. I'm going to read this one. Come, infinite audience. Let me see your faces. Allow me access past your sunglasses to see the delicate movement of your lower eyelid. Some angle, some expand, some grow tired and sit into the repetitions of the street. And yet, some sit up and open back and hold the air between us like brass rods and allow me to see into the back of that inner sanctum. The cones and the rods are lights, candles exalting visual divinity, peri-orbital priests opening the irised roof, accepting light in. Come, let's dance on the altar of your optical nerve and become waves and spikes in the sky. Thank you.
Cool. Let's do my bullet list of. I'm going to borrow everything from Kayla and that thing of like things I needed to say when I got on stage. 1, we love that Louie is that wonderful bitch that will bring in the fashion every single time, including the little egg on the shoulder there, on the thigh there as well. The poetry and the fashion, we love that. 2, memes that I love dear to my heart is a meme from Phineas and Ferb, which is the Doof and Smirch meme of, if I had a nickel for every time I heard a Love Island poem, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't that much, but like, it's surprising it's happened that often. So we love that as well, Lily. As a little bit of houseman ad keeping as well, as a flag, we are going to be going open mic until 10:30, last open mic at 10:30, then after that, that'll be end of the night. Because of the chaos of tonight as well, we're going to try and get, we tried to catch up with all our performers, etc. If there's anyone that bought a performer ticket and we've missed them by the end of tonight, let us know. You're guaranteed for next month, whatever month you want to come back, etc. Annoyed that this has happened, but obviously trying to do our best and being as transparent about that. And now, with that, we go on to our next open micer, who I believe is their first time here. So please we give it a massive welcome to Forrest!
Hello. It is Forrest like the trees, which is what I spend most of my time saying in my day job. when I answer the phone. This poem is about family. Yeah, I thought I'd share it. Maybe I'll move this down a little bit. I keep writing because probability would suggest that if I keep plugging away at this, maybe I'll stumble across a shred of me that I haven't been formally introduced to yet. Perhaps I'll learn why it is I do things in a peculiar order, why exactly I feel like I'm the disappointing daughter, why I have this worrying sense of positivity when I really shouldn't ought to. It recently clicked for me that I intellectualize my feelings. I think myself out of what my heart is trying to deal with, a strength that never really was, just a disguise for a weakness. So when a question like, how does that make you feel, has me swilling my glass of long-corked, logical defeatist and gulping down varieties from the vine that don't grow where sun shines but thrive on neglect instead, when sips of claret run down my neck, it's then and only then that I realise this sheer disconnect, that I haven't felt something real in a while, because to feel first is to hurt, and to think last doesn't heal, and that's the weighted deal that I made at some tender age when nobody around me could responsibly express emotion, when nobody could behave. I suspect therapy would tell me that there was no safe space with which I could engage, and I knew I wasn't going to get it, even if validation I craved, so I tucked it away, creating a way of being deemed as emotionally measured in exchange. We don't blame them when they don't know what they're doing. We just blame ourselves for exacerbating and endorsing, and we hold ourselves to account and we let it mount up till we have Mount Kilimanjaro to summit, all because we couldn't stomach bringing that conversation back up as an adult. I hear sentences passed around like party favours, like you couldn't possibly remember this, and anecdotal tales with unusual twists that don't taste correct, but still you swallow it. My memory is pretty good at times, and I remember family gatherings were not my ideal place or time, and dining room tables under which I'd close my eyes and turn my back, any way to make up for the lack. Oh, the photo albums and the reminiscing, and how it would make my stomach contents thrash around inside like a tainted meal, entirely unforgiving, and how I was struggling to give in to the idea that I would be perceived while living, with no control over that perception, flash setting capturing me in my past, present and future action, when I just wanted to pretend that so much didn't and hadn't already happened. When you're frightened by reality, how can you believe in the laws of attraction? But when we know better, we do better, and somehow that sentence makes it all better. But what if they could know now and it could stop them feeling bitter? But the stoic in you says, I'm not a quitter, so you let it fester. Because when the dust has settled, why not just let it rest still? Full admittal, there's chats that I need to have, things I need to put to bed, and I see those interactions in my mind's eye up ahead, apparitions of junctions of a lifetime and tunnel vision of a generation, transmarginal inhibitions and ancestral pains, things that can't be solved with deep dives on ancestry.com or shared traits and common DNA. Running out of showtime, when it all goes up in flames, do we really have to go up with it? Family, I really owe them a visit. Thanks.
Sorry for running on stage like a cartoon character. That was really. No, I meant the poem. No, the poem. It got me in like the. Does anybody ever listen to poetry and you get a sort of like what feels like butterflies, but not like when you fancy someone? Like when you've had like a really deep thought, but a thought in your belly and not in your mind. Does that make sense to anyone but me? Yeah. One more time for Forrest. Up next is another wonderful process regular that's been with us since the very early days. Were you at the first ever process? Or did I make that up? Yeah, you. Yeah. Probably. Please welcome to the stage, Lantern Carrier.
Thank you very much. Poetry is energy, and the flower of Kiazan Moi's sacrifice was the poetry of her life. She served more from the light of her heart, threaded her own path par excellence, following her instincts in the interest of her son, her family. As a mother, and in spite of challenges, hers was a life of undaunting courage, resilience, and concern, always looking at the way of the path less trodden, the spirit of love, of diligence, dedication, and goodness that flowed from the fire of an indomitable spirit. She was a beacon of inspiration to many, and Aladdin's treasure of love. Kiazan Moi, Tyrone's mum, saw life as someone receptive to the energies of the Most High, seeing things from the inside out and not the other way around. She felt blessed that she was given the privilege to serve, to do her best for Tyrone, for family, for soulful selflessness. I first met Tyrone at Poetry Unplugged, a young, gifted student feeling his visionary way through words and the promise of camera and film. I later backed his talent by offering my voice through voting in support of his poetical skills. He wrote poems of genius and sublime ones for his mum. I met Mama Kaz soon afterwards, but it was at Boomerang in Dalston that I remember her most, a stalwart supporter of her son, occasionally taking the mic and wooing us all with her powerful oratory. In this rather surreal downstairs studio, she was also a regular at Rule Zero. Most of all, she was there for her son, that unflinching service, always bright with luster, like the dawn, like radiant magnolias, like the moon and stars at nights, singing like the nightingale with unflinching steadfastness. Her commitment to honor and excellence, like the Japanese Bushido, full of love and purpose for her son. No farewell, for if you listen closely, you will hear Kiazan Moi's spirit in the songbearer's melodies, and the bouquets of flowers paying homage to her legacies. The moon and stars will shine like how mom and son blended as one, even as love welcomes her in the golden shows of the unknowable. The swans will waltz through her poise and charisma, say how amiable and fun-loving she was, for the warmth of her character affected many. Her strength flowed like an empress, expressing herself in this earth arena. Let the fragrant jasmines rejoice, sunflowers unfold to our grieving, carrying our tears to the New Jerusalem. For flowers, too, have their stories to tell, even as the winds that carried her cheerfulness, loyalty, and devotion whispers love songs to the citadel of Tyrone's heart. Listen while the bugles blow and the trumpets call, and know that in time, dear ones shedding tears will be comforted. Dance with shooting stars, carry the glories of love to the portals of paradise. Give praise and adulation for the majestic grandeur of heaven. Although we have evoked Kiazan Moi's soulfulness and charm with poignant funeral songs and speeches, lament her gaiety and fun, the beloved has brought grace and mercy to her heart, born out of a spirit of love and fortitude, loving prayers and concern. No farewell, for even as the sun sets, only to rise again at daybreak, even as the luminosity of moonbeams glisten in the darkness, and the nightingales sing upon another virgin morn, so too she has ascended, chanting Alleluia to our Lord. And in the breath of the breeze we will feel her spirit, for the wind has carried her joys and sorrows, her playful yesterdays, and the exaltations of tomorrows, to place them all at the feet of our effulgent majesty. Now our spirit is sanctified, having departed on day 2 of another glorious dawn. Minstrels play joyfully on harps as heaven smiles, chanting the glories of her legacy as she arrives at the gate of serenity and supernal beauty. Sail away, sail away, sail away to freedom. Sail away home. Sail away to freedom. Lantern Carrier, tribute to Ann Kaz, Tyrone's mom. Thank you.
So it was her funeral on Friday, and what was truly wonderful was in the planning for the funeral, in the weird things I have to be admin-y about, obsessed about, was Mum had requested horses take her to the funeral. So a lot of this month had been me organising the horses, making sure that, having a talk with the funeral directors, the horses might have an issue with the gate. They might need to, duck. And it's I don't know why you're telling me this. I am not going to help the horses duck. Not really my thing to do, but it was wonderful to properly give her that send-off and that kind of thing of, we properly stopped traffic for her, etc. Even longer because the horses carried on obviously all the way to Covent Garden. We stopped all the traffic, all the tourists, etc. around central London were oh shit, this is someone important. Yeah, it was someone important. So one more time for Kaz and for Lantern Carrier. Now, I don't want to speak for my mum or go for trying to figure out exactly what was in her head, but as she obviously came here regularly, she did have, I don't want to say favourites, but definitely poets. She's oh cool, this poet's performing, etc. And next up, the nicest man on the internet falls into the category of poets my mum liked seeing perform. So can we please welcome to the stage the one and only Jake Nathan!
Nah, but that'll do. Such a lovely introduction, and I just made it weird.
Love the weird.
Sitting at the funeral on Friday, every time they said, have Kaz in your thoughts now, I remembered my first performance at Process, and I was just about to leave. My second ever performance in London, and I'd done my Grenfell poem. And I was trying to walk up the stairs, and I just felt this hand grab my arm and pull me back down. And she said, "You're not leaving yet." And then she so lovingly said how much she loved my poem and how much it meant to her, and the things it made her feel and think. And that was the image I had of her in my head as we were at this funeral, which was perfect for her. So on the way home today from picking up my son from school, he asked me if I knew the song "We Will Rock You," and I said, "Yeah, I know that song." And we listened to Queen all the way home, and I got him bouncing his head to Bo Rap as well. But it reminded me of being at my nan's house on a Thursday when we go for dinner, so I'm going to do this poem. Two great nans, each end of the sofa, pink perms or a blue rinse. Handbags full of Murray mints and pound coins, and I get one of each from both because they know that I'm a good boy. The sounds of 6 kids playing could be called noise, but it's music to my nan's ears. Chops are in the oven, and the smell of tarragon so familiar sets mouth watering. The front room full of grown-ups and cups of tea, shouts of "Stop jumping on the bed," because above heads lights rattle.
tattle and tell tales of our upstairs exploits. The kitchen is full of Queen. My nan cooks and Freddie belts out bangers, helps Nan as she prepares a feast. It's not just chops, it's cherry pie for afters and a choc ice after that if you ask her. When Grandad gets home, we rush to the door, put our dukes up and say, dagger, dagger, sword, jabbing at the paws of the old Essex champ. Then it's into his chair and his dinner on his lap. My nan finally sits down until she's up again to make more tea. When we leave, at least one of us is over my granddad's shoulder, like a side of beef he carried at the docks. As we pull away, my nan waves all the way down the long street until we can't see her at the back because the flats are in the way now. But we know she's there, waving and waiting to fill us up with love again. Thank you. This one is called Russell Brand. He operated in full view. We watched him in his role of jester, pester women in ways we would not allow today. This cheeky chap who redefined masculinity for me made sex his personality, and we laughed at his antics. I watched him in awe, saw a man that rejected manliness I'd seen before and thought, I could be manly in my own way. My femininity didn't need to be a handicap. I didn't have to act like their version of a man. In recent years, I lost track of his career, and he existed on the peripheries of my worldview, in the way the familiar face shows up and the stuff you did years ago makes you smile. But when the news broke, I realised the tightrope he walked between lovable philanderer and predator was only in the public's view. Privately, he was hurting women. It took me a while to read the article. I wasn't ready to have to question that part of me. But when so much of my manhood has been about unlearning toxicity, I am practiced at it now. I read the accounts of these women, and my heart broke. I think I'd hoped to find a but that made this more grey than black and white, but what I read banished that weak and selfish urge from my head. Yet again, a man was allowed to hurt women. Yet again, people knew and did nothing. Why is the safety of women less important than the male ego, and why is money always the bottom line? I'm ashamed to say I paid to see him more than once. I read his book and watched his films, not in on the open secret, and I feel betrayed, but I feel guilty for that too, because what these women went through could have been stopped, and I was a silent partner in his success. Statistics tell us that if 4 women have come forward, there are probably a dozen more that haven't found the courage yet. And every single one of them has been failed by this system. Another man was protected by the patriarchy, and women he wounded are still victims of the misogyny their abuser milked and mocked in equal measure. We must hold men to account, call out misogyny when we see it, and make our world safer for women. Abusers operate in positions of power by making us feel like we don't have a choice. So when victims are brave enough to speak out, we have to amplify their voice. Thank you.
Nobody needs to be this tall, Jake. So I have a real big issue. This is going somewhere nice, I promise. I have a real big issue with men who write poetry about misogyny. And I was complaining about this recently, and my partner said, how do you think that's different from what Jake Nathan does? And I said, because what these guys are doing is I'm a good guy, and what Jake does is be a good guy. That's the difference. One more time for Jake Nathan. To be clear, my partner agreed with my sentiment. He was just challenging me to challenge me for no reason. What's in my hand? What's in the hat? Drum roll. Panto. Please welcome to stage 1/3 of the Dead Darlings podcast, 1/4 of Genesis Poetry Slam, Laurie Eves.
Less than the sum of his parts. Right. It's so wrapped. I usually like my audience wrapped. Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Laurie. What's your name? Disappointment. It's nice to meet you all. This first poem is for Tyrone, and it's for Kayla, and it's for Kaz, and it's not about any of them directly. It's just about that there's people in the world who keep live events running, and I think that's very awesome. And they're not always the people on stage. And this is an ode to my favourite security guard at Kentish Town Forum. And the poem is called Ode to My Favourite Security Guard at Kentish Town Forum. It's a little sonnet. Every all-ages hardcore matinee show, he's there. Stage front, flashing a gold-toothed grin from the barrier. Slipping in neon pink earplugs, he scans the body sea. Fall downstairs drums kick off the opener. Strangled guitars squeal like ripped open tins. The crowd spits the first line. His job begins. By God, that boy can spot a crowd surfer before their docks peel from the beer-stained floor. Scoops them up, pops them down, back to the mosh with a wink. How many of us have leapt, gravityless through the fuzz pedal roar, over the skulls of front row fangirls squashed to the heat of those nicotine biceps. Thanks. Got books. Got tapes. You knew that anyway. It's been really nice being here. Thank you for having me, and thank you for booking Takunda, and thank you for booking Emy, because you're right, the three of you smashed it at Genesis in September, and the idea of seeing feature sets from those two poets, I couldn't resist coming down, so thank you. Thank you to them for being awesome. If you're thinking that Genesis place sounds like it might be all right to go and perform poetry, the next one's this Thursday at the Genesis Cinema in Stepney Green. We'd love to see you there. People go on to do this, so that's pretty cool. Right, do you want some new shit? Or do you want some really new shit? Okay, really new shit. I think we need a bigger really new shit though. 1, 2, 3. That's great. Also, because it's really new shit and I finished it this afternoon, I'm going to fuck it up. So can we get a rehearsal of Laurie, you fucked up? Because that's what I'm going to expect you to shout when I fuck up. So 3, 2, 1, Laurie, you fucked up. 3, 2, 1. Laurie, you fucked up. Great. This is new. It's called Portrait. Jean beach walking with Jack. And it's about my, Jake mentioned his nan, this is about my gran, who is also a great-gran, and I just find that baffling and wonderful that she is a great-grandmother who is helping to raise great-grandkids. This is Portrait, Jean beach walking with Jack. There's no bladder-act bleacher the kid can't kick. No crab that can't be caught by bacon, streaked in ribbons at the tip of his salt-steep nylon thread. She spies those wrists, the sharp flick, the quick twist, tipping stalk-eyed alien prey from tide to briny bucket. The sailor she loved hums shanties on a time-lost shore, steals her a soul from a Singapore bay decades away. Sandbound, both of them cast before her. Her husband, this small fried boy putting hook to water. The same simple smile looping brow to brow with every catch. To no one but the craggy cliffs and sky, she whispers, "Look, a little miracle." Thank you very much. Good night.
I'm going to get on my soapbox again now. All the soapboxes, I've got too many of them. And kind of champion the idea of like, not that poets shouldn't try to pursue their own careers and goals and put themselves forward. But also, as much as it's good to pursue your own career, this is not like a competition in that way. Like, by all means, help and promote other poets, push other poets, help all of that as well. Laurie's been a big promoter of that as well. We love that. And like, just keep doing that. Also, he's also a good poet in his own right. Book him for gigs. Do that. He's incredible. Like, the other month, he featured at Everything. Incredible set. One of my favourite feature sets of last year, legitimately. So, like, book him for gigs, but also push other people, do all of that kind of stuff. And as Tyrone loves a good segue here, our next poet, as I've kind of already mentioned earlier in the night, has, as much as they're doing all their incredible poet stuff on their own right, is also been pushing so many other nights and so many other events. The work they do is tireless, and it is sometimes thankless, but needs to be thanked a lot more because it's such a vital part of the London scene already. So can you please welcome to the stage the one and only Fiona!
Thank you very much for that intro. I wasn't expecting that. My name is Fiona Broadhurst, mood killer, vibe ruiner, emotional fucker. Right, so bear with me while I just do this. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Tyrone Lewis has a book out called Too Black, Too Furious. It's amazing. Kayla Martell-Feldman also has a book out called Same Story. Again, they're both fucking amazing. Buy them. Anyway, this is my 1-year process anniversary. I can't see both of you, but basically, Kayla and Tyrone, you are the reason I have friends. You are the reason my nan saw me in print before she passed away. You are the reason that I was able to get on stage less than an hour after I found out she had passed away and get on stage. This is called Too Same, Too Story. They say trust the process, but I trust process production values high, documenting your progress through the scene. It's obscene how good it is. The talent on this stage, never questionable or frivolous. It's a family I never thought I'd find when I was lost and locked inside the confines of my own mind, and I am beyond inspired by the chaotic besties hosting with hats, drum rolls, and Kenergy. A fucking awful year, yet still getting on this stage with boundless energy. It's thanks to Kayla and Tyrone that I can be diagnosed with chronic pain and still feel the happiness I've ever felt. And I don't need to win a slam, because here I already lifted the title belt, a plastic statue, taking pride of place upon my shelf, a pat on the back from true friends, and I believe in myself. Each month is just amazing. I've not been to one that I didn't like yet. The only question is, when are you going to get me to do a feature set? Anyway, right, straight from that into something a little different. Basically, this is a poem about an unknown Tory politician you might hear over at some point soon. This is called Suella Braverman Accidentally Deports Herself. Suella Braverman thought she was the braver man when standing up to all those immigrants. She told them to get back in the sea because we don't want to see those small boats on our shores, and she was indiscriminate about her use of the word immigrant, forgetting that they are innocent people usually in pain, not mindless fuckwits who would sell out their own parents for political gain. So she blundered on, ranting about purity and Britishness as if our identity isn't that of a bully, happy slapping their way across the globe, and her willingness to tend towards precipitous behaviour leaves me wondering about deficiencies in the frontal lobes of mindless xenophobes. But hey, she's got blue blood in those veins, the stink of which is stronger than shit for brains, so she's imbued with an innate sense of overconfidence, the consequence of which is that she's constantly trying to assert her dominance by telling lies and brandishing pompousness. And the next thing she knows, she's having a gander at a tiny prison cell somewhere in Rwanda, chatting away with all the candour of someone whose daily affirmations turn to slander. And before you know it, with a little backhander, some furious rage and self-righteous anger, she's talked herself into that tiny prison cell, and old Suella's accidentally deported herself. Except it's not front page news, and that makes her feel blue. No photo of a plane. She's not thought this through. You see, nobody cares if they think you're a cunt, and this all looks too much like a publicity stunt, like the time she said multiculturalism has failed. Surely they're not immigrants unless they have sailed. But nobody cares about her lifestyle choice to shit on her own in return for a voice, and the country she's just left starts to rejoice before she can call up that interior designer and tell them what colour she wants her recliner. Now, am I might just be a member of the tofu-eating wokerati, but as far as I can see, it's plain as day. Suella Braverman hates indiscriminately. And while it's easy to call it self-hatred packaged up as racism, it is just racism. And no matter what prism you look at it through, her main goal is to continue growing the schism between us and them. Them and you, hard-right fascists and right-wing neo-fascists, those born into privilege and those less fortunate, and she will continue to lie her way through life. To lie her way through Parliament, and all because she's got an obsession with defending this country against an invisible enemy. All because she believes that she is a one-woman anti-ship missile, all because she has a hard-on for planes. So watch out. One day this no-name politician might start making waves. That's if she doesn't accidentally deploy herself before then, and there's a distinct possibility given her masochistic tendencies and the insane things that she craves. Thank you very, very much, guys. As Tyrone said earlier, follow Where the Word Things Live on Instagram. Yeah, you will find out loads of nights. I am actively soliciting help for that because it's a fucking big job. So if anyone wants to help, let me know. Other things. Oh, I have a chapbook coming out in May. And on Sunday, we are having it's the Backroom Poetry Showcase at the Betsy Trotwood, 4 till 8. Come down. It's going to be fun. Thank you very much, guys.
Look, I'm really glad you feel that way about process, because it's how I feel about process. I mean, like, I would have friends with that process, but I wouldn't have any of you people as friends with that process, and that would be sad. So I'm glad that we have that. I also, I don't know how Tyrone and I did this, because he is straight and neurotypical. He's just a really good ally. But this has accidentally somehow become the poetry night for neurodivergent queers. And like, we keep booking poets that are one or the other or both, and I don't know that, and then they mention it during their set, and I'm like, we don't. You are welcome if you are neither of those things. But it's just anyway. I am really glad that a few people mentioned tonight about how this is a very warm night, and I don't really It's not something that we intentionally do. It's just us. Look, I'm rambling now, but thank you. That was a really nice thing to say. It also feels really weird to hear that now. Because we started this with Kaz on the door. She was on the door at Boomerang. She would draw the names out of the hat. She was such a vibrant part of the spoken word scene, and it feels really fucking wrong to be saying that in past tense. To be doing process, and she doesn't know it's happening. So what I'd like to do. Her funeral was the first Christian funeral I went to, because everyone I know that who has died is Jewish. So I've been to like 30 Jewish funerals, and I've never been to a Christian funeral. The vicar was very nice. He was so good, right? Best funeral ever. But he was fucking hilarious, and it was so Kaz. He made a fuss over his wardrobe. He dissed runners. It was great. And he made us laugh when we really needed to. But he did this at the end of the funeral, and I was like, I think we should do that at process. Yeah. I would like, if you can't stand, that's fine. But if you can, I would like us to do I'm going to walk off stage and we'll do a standing ovation for Kaz. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
The night must go on, though, and that's, like, I think the Has vibe is also cool. Like, love that she gets the applause and all that kind of stuff. Also, but keep going, because it's all keep going kind of vibes. So we will keep going. We'll do 2 more open micers. As mentioned, if you had bought a performer ticket in advance and we haven't got you on, let us know after the fact, and we'll make sure you'll get on any month you want to going forward. It's been a chaotic one. Vibes. Nevertheless, what's in my hand? And what's in the hat? Perfect. Drum roll, please. Our penultimate open micer is going to be... Come on, open up, open up. Please welcome to the stage, TJ!
This wire is more twisted than my imagination. First of all, huge love to Tyrone and Kayla, and just want to say I'm honoured to be in a room full of talent of this magnitude. It's beautiful. I'm just going to jump straight into this one. This poem does have some references to mental illness and like a little bit of a subtle reference to self-harm. I'm just going to jump straight into it. This poem's called Locked Theatre. Inside a humdrum mind, a probing pilgrim may find a seat and unwind to observe the pantomime of a lifetime if the playwright is feeling kind. For his theatre remains closed and composed only of the darkest shadows, apropos judges sinking to new lows, glaring down bridges of a high nose. With every fulcrum of his tired feet, the beat actor hit onto the cold concrete. Not dignified in defeat, he missed sweet sensations sitting in the driver's seat. At the golden gates atop the stage inside his cage, he would fruitfully engage, like a magical sage flicking through pages of some book from a medieval age. As frequent as a rainy day, his brain turned grey with notions of mental decay, wishing for his unhappy stay as a stray mutt to end with his permanent lay. The stage was his to own, an intrusive stepping stone in his tarsal bone. An old crone with the inner groan of a curmudgeon was all he had ever known. The actor worked tirelessly from the smirks of his vast audience of Burks, a perky one-man band who'd swim waters of murk and call it his primary quirk. Prancing and dancing across the stage like Juliet and her Romeo romancing, whilst financing those advancing hordes of villains that relish in glancing. In his endeavours and raising blood pressure, he kept under the weather, so he thought himself lesser, lily-livered, as a feather balancing on the tether. Wrapped behind the red side stage wings with the old stings of fiery flings, it was all swings and roundabouts until heartstrings struck through thick skins. To hold himself steady, the lone actor twirled under a heavy shower of confetti, ready to eradicate the deadly and chisel his wit sharper than a machete. For his masterpiece, autobiographical release, and trophy on the mantelpiece, the caprice suddenly began to grease the cogs inside of his headpiece. The 11th hour needn't extract a third act before the audience claps. Like a coveted artifact, the actor clung to this contract like it was a fact. So he begun to clear his cluttered space and saved face at a gradual pace. With solemn grace, he tied up his brain case neatly like a frayed shoelace. As he faced the bright light, he shook the spectators with thundering might, throwing his hands upright at a great height until his muscles lost the fight. Between the skin peels and a clash of a glockenspiel, the actor yearns to feel emotions of real value from surreal days of yore in a decadent world at the heels. The stage, almost expectedly, went dark, like the winter's starkly cold tree bark. Though hecklers left marks on his character arc, the actor lit a match from his spark. The show must go on, he proclaimed from his raw core, losing a battle before the war. And from the shore, the probing pilgrim wept and began to roar, demanding an encore. That's the first time I performed that poem. Yeah, very, very quick. Somehow I managed to get a book published a few months ago. I always forget to bring this up because it's something I just still forget about. It's available online, pretty much all major retailers. If you've got a spare $7.99, just on a shelf gathering dust, you know. And also, if anyone wants some bookmarks, I'm your guy. Thank you very much.
I love props. I also love stories about actors because I'm, as Tyrone always kindly says, I've forgotten what you said now. Yes, sorry, I'm so tired. Yeah, that joke's not funny anymore because I'm too tired for it. No, Tyrone once said, oh, Kayla's got a background in theatre. The joke being, I'm a professional theatre director. That is my actual job. No, don't cheer that. Tyrone's just being silly business. Anyway... so whenever people talk about actors, I'm like, poems about actors? Yes, love it. One more time for TJ. So I have one more poet left, and that will leave 10 names in the hat. I'm so sorry. That's most that we've ever had not been able to get on. But Tyrone and I will discuss things afterwards and figure out if there's anything to be done about that. Anyway, drum roll, please, because it could be anyone. Please welcome to the stage, Shijin Jones. He's not here. Huh? No, he had to leave. Okay, drum roll. That was you that just came out of the hat. This fucking hat. Oh, please welcome to the stage the brilliant host of Everything Poetry Night, Ellie. Oh my God, the poetry gods are so kind. What an honour. This has been such a lovely night. I was saying earlier that at Everything we also do, also come to Everything Poetry Night. But at our night, we all do, it's on Monday. It's in Waterloo, it's really good. Everything Poetry Night on Instagram. But anyway, we have a hat with the names in, and obviously there are, unfortunately, every time poets that don't get picked, which is the worst feeling. And so I'm like, if I don't get picked in this hat, that is the karma from the poetry gods. I'm okay with that. So the fact that I have been picked and I'm last, and there were 2 names, you know what, it's all synergy, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna do 2 poems. Okay, cool. I'll do this one because there was a real ADHD theme of the night and neurodivergent vibes. And so my housemate thinks I might have ADHD. They tell me their symptoms, which sound like similes to the way I put my shoes on at least 30 minutes before leaving the house so I can feel ready. And my housemate thinks I might have ADHD. When his body language matches mine, it makes it easier, not easy, to cross off drink coffee from my to-do list. And when my housemate thinks I might have ADHD, only when I'm listening to a podcast can I put away laundry, put dinner in the oven, reply to texts about wedding gifts, and think about writing 3 belated cards, all before I can sit on the sofa next to my housemate who thinks I might have ADHD. The sofa where our conversations refuse to follow a single thread, but follow fidget rings and TikTok scrolls and rearranging the bookshelf. And did you see they broke up, and have you eaten dinner yet? I have to tell you what happened earlier, and I'm searching back through my emails for signs, wondering how far they can stretch back in time until I find I'm finally getting my diagnosis. I've even gone so far as to fill out. Thank you. Yeah, this, like I say, my name's Ellie, full name Ellie DeSace. Follow me on Insta if you want to. And come to my night also if you want to. This is very, very new shit. And and I was really excited about this poem. It just came to me when I saw, this poem fell out of me when I saw someone's birthday on Facebook. Not relevant who the person is, but like this came out of it. And I was so excited I actually sent this poem to like at least two people in this room. Anyway.
I wish I hadn't met you when About Time came out. You, all red and rosy. Me, wanting so badly. My fringe cut too short. Slow burn blush dimpling in place. Pretty girl next to you. I don't know what I was apart from 16. Recently bereaved. Begging you to fill the circle, the air in the circle of my arm. Bill dies. Just like my dad. It's still my favourite film. I'm sorry for the spoilers. You were just ginger. You could have been a Tory for all I cared. Tim, in the film, probably was, let's face it, white, plus Somerset, plus barrister, plus going back in time to stalk Rachel McAdams. What would the film have been if she was all Regina George? My fringe was so terrible. I would have gone bleach blonde, blending Regina and Margot Robbie. The one that got, the one who could see right through red, bumbling bullshit. I am so disinterested in a life without being able to go back in time to do anything other than stalky stalk the conversations that could be had. It's still my favourite film.
My whole heart. All of it. My whole heart. Oh my God. Ellie, fuck you, man.
Everything Poetry Night, first Monday of every month.
It's so good.
Go to it.
It's
One
so
more
good.
time for Ellie, everyone!
And I'm so sorry, and I love you, to Raheem, Francesca, Miele, Francis, Robin, Fee, and Tawo. I'm so sorry. I love you. Come back next time. Round of applause to our open micers who we didn't get on.
Can we keep a round of applause going for all open micers we had on the stage today? And then keep it going for our two features. So a round of applause for Takunda and Emy. A round of applause for Rule Zero for having us. And then fuck it, we're vain. A round of applause for us. It's Kayla and Tyrone.
We're not vain at all, are we? Especially not in February.
I mean, to combat any possible notion or idea of vanity,
Yeah.
next month is Process's second birthday.
We do.
And we're featuring.
We did this last year because for a very long time we didn't pay ourselves, and this is a lot of work. So we were like, as a reward, we'll feature ourselves every February on our birthday, and we'll pay ourselves a feature fee. Now, as of January, we now pay ourselves travel expenses. I know, aren't we generous to us? Yeah. So we'll feature ourselves in February as a birthday treat, which means I get to call it part of my book tour.
Also, as a treat for you, as has been a vague tradition in me and Kayla doing poetry sets together, there is a very high chance that we will be swapping poetry as well. So you'll hear me try badly to do some Jewish poems, whilst Kayla has to be black for a bit. So, vibes.
T, you can't say that.
No, I can say that.
We're already having a big problem at the Oscars.
Oh,
Is anyone aware of this? Yeah, with the the like Junoses that are up for Oscars. I'm sorry, I'm going to rant about this for 1 minute. Can I, please?
I mean, you're the
Yeah.
one about time.
Yeah, no, okay. So I don't care that Bradley Cooper and Helen Mirren played famous Jews. I don't care about that. I care that they wore prosthetic noses to play those famous Jews. Because when those trailers came out, I said, just you watch, this is Oscar bait. Both of those films are nominated for hair and makeup, and no one is talking about it. Yeah, I know, right? It's so fucked up. Anyway, next month you be Jewish and I'll be black.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'll be the 27th of February. Tickets will go up at some point soon. Basically, as long as you follow us on socials, you should see stuff happening. I'm not yet going down the mailing list route, but we'll see how this year pans out, etc.
What's another side hustle?
Oh, God, all of the things. We can do them all. It's
When
fine.
Tyrone does stuff without me, I call it a side quest.
Yeah. It's a vibe.
I'm like, no, we do things together.
I'm doing more. I'm trying. I'm becoming a better person. But nevertheless, that is all from Process for tonight. As is tradition to end this night. So firstly, obviously, follow us on all the socials. Again, still not yet on LinkedIn. That's still probably not going to happen. I know. Exactly. We're not a connection in that way.
Round of applause to we forgot this one. Round of applause to our audience who came just to watch poetry and do nothing and with no other ulterior motive. Thank you.
Yes. And on that note, in process law, the way we end this night nowadays is we love you all. Now fuck off. Good night, everyone.